and cut off this. Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salamullah, wa rasulullah. This is our Signs of the Last Hour class. And what I'm going to try to do right now is complete this series by discussing some of the signs of the last hour as presented to us from the hadiths, you know, from the hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So with that said, let me just go ahead and put the hadiths up on the screen so everyone can take a look at it, because I know it's late and I know a lot of you have to go to work. So let me try this other computer. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the signs of the last hour as presented to us by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, for example, thunderbolts, lightning will increase so much as the last hour approaches that a person will come to a group of people and say, who was struck by lightning this morning? And they will say, oh, so-and-so was struck. So it'll be a common phenomenon. People getting hit by lightning bolts. And also another one of the signs the prophet said will be that the hour will not come until there has been rain, which will destroy all houses except for the tents. You know, people will be living in tents because it'll rain so much that the foundations of the homes and such will be destroyed. And there are other hadiths too. For example, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the people will compete with one another in building buildings. That's already happening. He also said 2 large groups of people will fight one another. There'll be many casualties, and they will both be following the same religion. That happened too. You know, how many times the companions, you know, the Muslims fighting against each other. Also, earthquakes will increase. Time will pass quickly. Murder and calamities will increase to the point where a person will walk past a grave and wish that they were dead. And that's happening already today. And as we all know, one of the final signs will be the sun rising from the west. Also, another one of the signs will be that the Muslims will have so much money that there will not be anyone who is in big need of zakat. And also the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a slave girl will give birth to her mistress, and the barefoot naked Bedouins will become rulers of the people. And that's already happening. We have the Emirates, we have the Kuwait, we have Oman, we have all these countries that were once part of the Persian Empire, the Roman Empire, and these were just Bedouins, desert people who had nothing. But now they got all the wealth of the world and they're rulers over everyone. The prophet said the barefoot and naked paupers will compete with one another in building high buildings, and they will become rulers over the people. They will be rich, and their only concern will be who can build the highest building. That's already happening. And right now, the United Arab Emirates has the record of the highest building, and I think that picture there is one of the buildings of which they hold the record too. So as you can see, a lot of these signs are already in existence. Also, the prophet said that the hour will not come until a man will leave his home and his shoes and his walking stick will tell him what's happening to his family. What does that mean? You can look, you can come home and tell what your wife did and what your children did by looking at their shoes. The fact that the shoes got mud on them tells you that they snuck out the house at night. The fact that there's a glass on them tells you where they've been. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and I see which connection it is. It ain't this one. It's that other one. Okay, good job, man. Good job. I see what he said. By he in whose hand is my soul, the hour will not come until wild animals talk to the people, and a man will speak to his shoe, and his thigh will tell him what's happened to his family after he left. That's happening. That's happening now. Also, the hour will not come until there is no rain. The earth will not produce crops. 50 women will be cared for by one man. If a woman passes by a man, he will look at her and say, this woman used to have a husband. That's happening today. Look how many single Muslim women we have in all of our communities, myself included. I used to be married, ain't married now. Also, the hour will not come until time passes so quickly that a year will seem like a month. A month will seem like a week will seem like a day, and a day will seem like an hour. Oh my goodness. It seems like just yesterday that we were doing Ramadan. Subhanallah. Seems like just yesterday that we were making Hajj. So all of that is happening. And also the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, before the last hour, there will be years of deceit in which a truthful person will be disbelieved and a liar will be believed. And the insignificant people will have a lot to say about the world. That's today. That's the way we done. These brothers and sisters with these YouTube channels, these YouTube platforms, they got a lot to say about the politics of the world. They got a lot to say about the government in other lands. They got a lot to say about Islam, but they don't even understand the basics. The people of the truth are looked at as being mean and harsh. The people of bid'ah, the people of innovation are believed and followed. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this earth will not pass away until people are afflicted with landslides, hail from the sky, and are transformed into animals. And when he said that, the people asked, when will that happen? He said, when you see women riding on horses, when singers are common, and when false witness becomes widespread, when men sleep with men and women sleep with women, and we see that happening today. That's today. Women driving cars, riding horses, women in control, women's lib, women's rights. Singing, music is common, lies. You can't trust anyone. Homosexuality, LGBTQ. So all these things are happening. Also, other signs. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there will be a special greeting for the people of distinction. What's the special greeting? Sheikh. Everybody's a sheikh. Everybody's a sheikha. Oh, the sheikha. Oh, the sheikh. Oh, the mufti. Oh, the muftiya. Oh, yeah, we calling ourselves muftis. Also, trade will become so widespread that a woman will help her husband in business. Look how many women are working. Look how many women are running their husbands' businesses. Family ties will be cut. Lies will be common. Truthful witnesses will be rare, and people will know how to read and write. They'll be educated. Everybody's got a PhD. You got a PhD in psychology. You got a PhD in theology. You got a PhD in philosophy. Everybody's educated, but we don't know the basics of Islam. Secular education, but we lack education of the deen. And also the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam described how the people will be living on earth when the last hour actually comes. He said the hour will not come until Allah takes away the best people on earth and leaving only the worst behind. And they will not know of any good, nor will they forbid any evil. How will Allah take the good people away with that virus, the virus that Jesus dies from? Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said eloquence. In other words, being able to speak well. Eloquence of speech can be bewitching. The worst of the people are those upon whom the hour will come, and they are alive, and those who turn graves into mosques. And now look at us. That's us today. You know, look how many people pray in the graveyard. Look how these brothers and sisters, these famous brothers and sisters, you know, with their soft voices, their beautiful diction, you know, can mesmerize you with their words. They're telling you to do things like go out and vote for Kafirs, support LGBTQ because the good outweighs the evil. They're telling you to do all kind of crazy things. And you're hypnotized by what they say, not listening to what they say. You're mesmerized, bewitched by their voices, and you go out and do what they tell you to do. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the last people that will be living on earth, when the last hour comes, they will not even know what la ilaha illallah is. They will not even say Allah. They will never use the word Allah. And we talked about this. The last people living on earth will all be kafir, because that virus will have killed all the believers. The beast will have come and written the word kafir or believer on people's forehead, so you know who the kafirs are. You won't see any believers walking around. And also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "O Aisha, your people will be the first of my nation to join me, because death will be widespread amongst them, and their relatives will be jealous of them. The people will be like locusts. The strong will devour the weak until the hour comes." Why did he say this to Aisha? He was talking about the Ansar, because Aisha, although her father Abu Bakr was from one of the tribes of the Quraysh, her mother was also from the Ansar. So when he said your people, Aisha, he was speaking about the people on her mother's side who were from the Ansar. They are the best of the people. They will mostly die out. And their relatives will be jealous of them. The Quraysh will be jealous of them, and all their other relatives jealous of them. Also, the Prophet said, again, when the last hour comes, it will only come upon the people who are the worst created, and they will be the ones living on earth at that time. So, subhanAllah, this is something that we need to think about as Muslims. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us everything that we need to know about how to live our lives in this world as Muslims. He told us what things to avoid and what things will take us down. All we have to do as Muslims is obey him, listen to him, and do what he says to do. All right. Again, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Please support us, guys. We are desperately in need of your donations for this website. As you guys can see, Shaitan is doing everything in his power to keep you guys from learning Islam and his truthfulness. You know, he's sending his awliya, his allies from the cyber world to try to take us down, to try to keep me from streaming. please support this Dawah effort, because what I'm going to do is invest in another stream program, and I see the difference. I see what the brother was showing me. If you listen, brother, I see. Yeah, you were right. I'm looking at that other computer. Yeah, I see you were right. So please support this Dawah effort, guys. And inshallah, tomorrow we have the class at 6 with Dr. McBride. He'll be finished completing chapter 6 of his book, Who's Right and Who is Wrong. And also tomorrow we have Dr. Sheikh Saud's class is canceled until August. But we have my class tomorrow night on the Hasidic tafsir. So I'll post up tonight, if I'm able to, I'll post up the pages for you guys to study for that. All right, so Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, we'll see everybody tomorrow.